Am I the a-hole for injuring myself before my sister's wedding? I, 28F, and my sister, 26F, have always had great relations. Recently, her fiancé, let's call him Josh, had proposed to her. She invited the entire family and a few of her friends to the wedding. 4 days before the wedding I was cycling around the neighborhood I live in. I accidentally took a sharp turn and planted face first into the concrete. I bruised my leg, part of my face and arms. Unfortunately, I thought I shouldn't go to the wedding. This reached my sister a few hours after I came back home and started treating my scar. And I tell you, she was furious. She told me that because of some dumb scar I can't come to a relative's birthday. She also accused me of doing this on purpose just so I wouldn't have to see her friend, my ex. About 1 hour later I got an entire paragraph from my mother, stating I am a liar and a selfish person. There were 2 main reasons why I couldn't attend the wedding. First, after the crash I felt extremely nauseous and dizzy. Second, I could not dare to walk into a public area with a large, bright red dot on my forehead. My husband, let's call him Damien, also decided not to go to the wedding due to the way my sister treats me. During the time I am writing this, it is 3 days before the wedding and I still feel extremely sick. My mother is scolding me for not being able to attend a wedding for a medical event. She says that my sister has attended all of my important events, my graduation, my own wedding, etc. I accept that, but getting bombarded by angry messages from my mom because I got hurt is horrible in my eyes. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for asking my husband if he washed his hands? My husband and me seem to have different standards on hygiene and cleanliness. I might be overly worried about germs to him, but whenever we go places I want us to wash our hands when we get back. He started making food today for himself and I asked him if he washed his hands as a question and he said, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And this led to a fight where I told him if he would just do it I wouldn't feel a need to ask, and he said I'm belittling him and then raised his voice and got mad. I told him not to talk to me like that. It's like getting to me that at night he doesn't always brush his teeth, never flosses, etc. So am I belittling it in the wrong? Am I the a-hole for telling my husband's cousins if they went out with my husband, they would have to take our son with them? Our son is 2 and right now he's going through a phase where his dad is his absolute favorite person and he's practically glued to him. It's come at a good time since we're visiting my husband's family, so he's available to spend more time with our son than he normally would be. My husband's cousins wanted to go out on the boat with my husband. They were discussing it in front of me and I let them know they would have to take my son with them if my husband went. They told me it wasn't a good idea for them to take him and made up some lies about how it would be dangerous for him to go with them. I suggested they do something else then because my son wouldn't stay in if his dad was going out. They kept trying to convince me to keep my son home and even asked me why he couldn't stay with me at one point. Eventually my father-in-law told them they could only use the boat if they took my son too, which is the only reason they finally backed down and agreed. They weren't happy about it, though. My husband wasn't there during the conversation as he was bathing our son, but he didn't seem concerned about taking our son on the boat, which is why I know they were just making stuff up so he couldn't go. Am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for telling my sister's boyfriend he should probably get a fucking job? My sister, 22, is starting med school in the fall. She has been dating Jack, 23, since high school. He has been in college for 5 years now, changed his major twice and only has an associate's. We were having a dinner to celebrate my sister, and my whole family was there. Jack decided to tell everyone at my sister's dinner that his parents told him they wouldn't pay for his schooling anymore. My sister started to comfort and reassure him. It pissed me off that she had to do that at her own party. I told the boyfriend I could help him with his resume, but he said he didn't need to work on his resume since he didn't have his degree yet. I asked what exactly his plan was, and he said he didn't have one yet. I changed the topic to my sister's upcoming trip she's taking with her friends. Jack then uses this to transition to talking about how he wants to apply to study abroad but is not sure how he will pay for it. I said I've always found the best way to make money is with a job. He glared at me, and my dad changed the topic. After dinner Jack came up to me and asked if I had a problem. I said I didn't appreciate him tainting my sister's event with his sob story about how he couldn't get a 4-year degree in 5 years. He said I was a hypocrite with a useless art degree that doesn't even use my degree in my job. I said that's irrelevant because I have a job and he should probably fucking get one too, because my sister is a student and can't afford to carry his worthless ass. He called me a self-righteous prick and left. I've been thinking about it, and I think I overreacted, and I could have just blown him off and not talked to him when he came up to me. I doubt cussing at him is going to convince him, so I probably shouldn't have done that. Am I the a-hole for asking my wife to wake me up at night when our newborn wakes up? My wife, 35F, and I, 35 male, just had our 3rd child 1 month ago, 4 weeks. For the first week or 2 my wife had to wake him up every couple hours to feed him, but now we just let him sleep until he wakes up to eat. Here's where that becomes a problem. I am a really heavy sleeper. There is nothing that can wake me up short of being attacked by a bear or shaken or something. It's been that way since way before my wife and I had kids. Babies crying or screaming do not wake me up. They didn't even when we had our first, 8 meters, so usually I've woken up when my wife turns on the lights for changing and stuff like that. Apparently I sleep through a lot when my wife is getting up a lot, so she is saying she does an unfair amount of work at night because of it. I feel bad because I recognize that if I'm asleep I'm not contributing to the night stuff. So I asked my wife to wake me up when the baby wakes up, and she told me that made it so much worse and that it was like weaponized incompetence. She just doesn't want to wake me up for some reason. I am not weaponizing my heavy sleep against her, I just want her to wake me up so I can help. But like I said, she said that makes it worse, and now she's mad. Am I the a-hole for asking to wake me up so I can help with the night stuff for our newborn?